Hi everyone, welcome back to SJ's classes. Let's continue our discussions on the paper 20th Century Malayalam Literature in English Translation. As part of this video lesson, I shall introduce to you the poet Dr. K. Ayyappa Paniker and also his poem Lay of the Anklet. This is the ninth poet I am discussing as part of this paper. Please do refer to my video lessons posted on YouTube so that you will have a complete understanding of the paper as well as the various poets and poems that you have to learn as part of this paper. Let's look into the biographical details of this famous Malayalam literary figure. Dr. K. Ayyappa Paniker was one of the pioneers of modernism in Malayalam poetry. The state of Malayalam poetry preceding to K. Ayyappa Paniker was struggling with centuries old poetic forms devoid of any experimentation and novelty. It was during the 1950s K. Ayyappa Paniker ushered a new era of modernist poetry along with his contemporaries like Madhavan Ayyapad and Cheriyan K. Cheriyan. He was born on the 12th of September 1930 in the picturesque village of Kavalam in Kuttanad. His academic qualifications include BA Honours from the University of Travancore, Master's degree from the University of Kerala, and PhD from Indiana University, USA. He spent most of his career as a teacher of English. He taught at different colleges in Kottayam and Thiruvananthapuram before joining the University of Kerala, from where he retired as the Dean, Faculty of Arts in 1990. He is counted among the leading poets of modern Malayalam and has been regarded as a legendary teacher of English literature. Dr. Paniker is a pioneer of modernist outlook in the literary milieu of Kerala, and as such, his work has greatly influenced the intellectual and cultural spheres in Kerala. His penchant for poetry materialized at the age of 16 when he penned his first poem, which was published in the Madhrubhumi weekly. Dr. K. Ayyappa Paniker's noted works in Malayalam include poetry collections like Ayyappa Panikerude Krithikal, Ayyappa Panikerude Kavithakal, കാർട്ടൂൺ കവിതകളും മഹാരാജ കഥകളും ഗോത്രയാനം പൂക്കാതിരിക്കാൻ എനിക്കാവത്തില്ല and പനിനീർ പൂവ്. Some of his Malayalam poems are കുരുക്ഷേത്രം, പകലുകൾ രാത്രികൾ, ലോക മലയാളി, സ്വപ്നം കൊല്ലികൾ, ഒരു കഥ, etc. He was also an influential literary critic, translator, academic, and scholar. He translated a number of Indian and non-Indian writers into Malayalam. These include Charles Baudelaire, T.S. Eliot, Pablo Neruda, Bertolt Brecht, and Raja Rao. Cuban Kavithagal, which was published in 1981, Mayakovskyude Kavithagal, which came out in 1988, Ayyappa Panikerude Vivarthanangal, that was published in 1990, contained some of his translations. He was also a comparativist par excellence, and his interventions in comparative literature shed copious light on the cross cultural transactions between Malayalam literature and English literature through colonial contact. Through these studies, he succeeded in showing how these transactions were connected to social political factors as well as English education. His style in creative writing and his depth of research in literary studies significantly molded subsequent generations of playwrights and writers. With unique contributions to different avenues of literature, both within and outside the country, Dr. Paniker was honored with many prestigious awards and recognitions like the Kerala Sahitya Academy Award for Poetry in 1975, Kerala Sahitya Academy Award for Criticism in 1984, Kendra Sahitya Academy Award for Poetry in 1984, Mahakavi Ullur Award for Poetry in 1990, Kabir Samman during the period 1996 to 1997, International Man of the Year by International Biographical Centre, Cambridge, UK, that was in 1997, and the prestigious Padmasri Award and the coveted Vallathol Award in 2004. So these are some of the honors and recognitions that he received during his lifetime. He died in Thiruvananthapuram on 23rd August 2006 at the age of 76. So these are some of the details that I have to share regarding his biography as well as his literary career. Now let's listen to a short introduction to the poem Lay of the Anklet. Ayyappa Paniker, who developed an interest in Tamil culture and Dravidian aesthetics in the latter part of his literary career, brings alive the story of Kannagi through the mirror of modern day aesthetics, depicting Kannagi not as a deity but as the epitome of Indian womanhood and chastity. She bears the signature of the reacting woman. He dipped his pen in the universal plight of women and paints a picture of Kannagi that touches a sensitive chord in the heart of every woman. Let's also look at the title of the poem. The Lay of the Anklet, which can be translated into Malayalam as Chillambinte Katha, the poem that Ayyappa Paniker wrote in 1995, is taken from the fourth volume of the collection Ayyappa Panikerude Krithigal. The title reference is to the Tamil classic Chilappatikaram, the story of the Anklet, supposedly written in the 2nd century AD by the saintly poet Elangovadigal. It tells the story of the love triangle involving the rich merchant Kovalan, his wife Kannagi, and the courtesan Madhavi living in the city of Puhar in the Chola kingdom. Although Kovalan remains under the spell of Madhavi's charms for a time, devout Kannagi eventually succeeds in weaning Kovalan away from the courtesan, and the two decide to go away from Puhar and settle down in Madura, the capital city of the Pandya kingdom. Misfortune overtakes Kovalan at Madura, where he is arrested and brought before the king on the trumped up charge of stealing the queen's anklet. The king executes Kovalan, whereupon a vengeful Kannagi turns up at the royal court, works herself up into a divine fury, tears away her breast, throws up her anklet, and destroys the court and the city in the fire of her fury. Kannagi crossed the hills and settled down in the city of Kodungalur in the Chera kingdom, where she became a deity. And so goes the story. The poem is divided into three parts. The opening stanzas bring the tragic story of Kannagi to the minds of the readers. The second part is a poetic recreation of the romantic mood of a chaste woman and her husband during their honeymoon days. Madhavi's intervention and Kannagi's emotional turmoil having to suffer another woman in their lives are also depicted in this section. The last part is an outburst describing the agonies that Kannagi had to face in life, and Ilongovadikal's treatment of the Kannagi story. The poem ends on an evocative note on the origin of good poetry. This is where I will stop for the time being. In the next video lesson, I will discuss the first part of the poem Lay of the Anklet by Dr. K. Ayyappa Paniker. Thank you so much for watching this video lesson.